right, well, hello everybody. Thank you so much for watching our video. Today we are making the Perfect Man soap. It's scented in the fragrance of Perfect Man from Nurture Soap. And my daughter came up with the design for this soap, and my father-in-law said he wanted something that was glow in the dark. So we're going to start off making some glow in the dark soap. So I have all of my oils mixed up and everything, and so I'm just getting all of my oils in there together. These are my liquid oils that I'm going to put in there, and then I have my solid oils that I have melted down on the other side that I'll just add all those together. I had everything ready to go to make this soap. So just adding those the oils in there. And this is, you can totally tell that this is our very first video because we have a little problem with the camera and the angle, so we'll definitely have to fix that. So please bear with us. Thank you so much for watching. So we're just getting those oils. And then the solid oils that I use coconut and I use shea butter. So I really like the skin loving oils, and all of the oils are also organic natural oils. So I really like to make sure that the soaps are all natural, they're vegan friendly. I really like that. So now that I have all the oils in there, I'm just going to mix them up, make sure they're all fully combined. And then I'll get my lye water solution in there as well. I have that setting over on the side there. Alright, so this is the lye water solution. And I do also put a little bit of, I think it's 2 teaspoons of sodium lactate in it. It just helps make a more solid bar, and it also helps it to come out of the mold easier as well. So it has that is all included in the lye solution. And make sure before you make soap that you definitely look at lye safety. It is very, very dangerous. And so make sure that you know your lye safety. You have your glasses, your goggles. I have goggles and a hairnet on as well. I tried to go for long sleeves, but this blouse I didn't realize the sleeves were up so high. And then I'm just stick blending just to emulsion. I don't want any trace on this, and the reason is because with the design that I'm doing, my original plan at the time was that I'm going to add the fragrance oil and I'm going to stick blend with the colors. So I wanted to make sure it was just an emulsion at this point. That way once I stick blended later, then I could get it to the trace that I wanted. So now I'm just mixing those together just to make sure they are fully incorporated and that there are no oils that are separating or anything like that. And then I've already pre-mixed my colors, so I'm grabbing my colors here. The colors that are going to go into it, there's a purple, a lavender, and then there's supposed to be white and black, the design that my daughter chose. So what I've done is I have some activated charcoal for the black that I'm using, and that's going to be my smallest amount. I only used, I think, 2 ounces for the black because I just wanted it as just an accent color. I didn't really, to put in that contrast. I didn't really want a whole lot of black in the soap. And then I have the purple, and I think I used, so there's the purple and the lavender I used the same purple in both of them. I just added some titanium dioxide to the one to make it a little lighter purple so that there's the contrast in there as well. And then instead of the white, I used glow-in-the-dark mica. All of the micas are eco-friendly, biodegradable, um, so they're all natural micas as well. And I'm just measuring on this one because of the design, the way it was supposed to be. I was just measuring out to make sure that I had the proper amounts of each color, how I wanted the design to turn out. Originally, I decided I was going to do an in the pot swirl and then do a hanger swirl, but I completely forgot to do the hanger on this one, and so that's why it turned out the way it did. But it still turned out really cool, and it looks really awesome when it glows in the dark too. So this is the glow in the dark mica that I've already mixed up as well, and this is going to be the majority of my batter. And the reason I'm pouring it in here is because I was so worried about it thickening up too much or it tracing too fast, because this is the first time I'd ever worked with this fragrance oil, and so I wanted to make sure that I get all those colors completely incorporated, and then I can pour them back in there to do the in the pot swirl later. Alright, so now I'm just going to mix up my colors lightest to darkest and make sure they're incorporated, and then I'll be adding my fragrance oil and stick blending. And this glow-in-the-dark mica here, this is from Nurture Soap, is where I buy all of my colorants. And their glow-in-the-dark mica is absolutely incredible. Oh. You can hear the cars going by outside. Alright, then this is going to be the lavender. You can see I already had the titanium dioxide in there with it. And it was actually pretty cool. You could see some really neat swirls in it. And like I said, I'm going to stick blend. Whenever you use titanium dioxide, you always want to stick blend to make sure it gets completely incorporated in the color. Yeah, I'm just hand mixing them now because I was so scared. Like, this is the first time I've ever worked with this fragrance oil. It says it doesn't accelerate, and it says it doesn't rice or anything like that, but it was the first time I've worked with it, and so I just wanted to make sure, because I have had before one fragrance oil that I just worked with a few weeks ago. I was going to do the clamshell technique, and it was a new fragrance oil that I had used, and it said no ricing, no acceleration, all that, but as soon as I put it into my soap, it riced, and then it started accelerating really fast. And so while I was trying to do the clamshell, it just didn't turn out right, and then the whole soap itself actually came out really crumbly, which is really weird. That's never happened before. So I was really worried about this one. So here I'm just adding my fragrance oil, and like I said, it's called the Perfect Man. It is from Nature's Garden, and it smells amazing. And as soon as I opened up this bottle, my husband was like, "Can you make body wash out of it?" And my son's like, "Yeah, and some cologne." And my daughter's like, yeah, can you just make like a body mist for me and I'll just like spray my room with it? It smells so good. So now I'm just stick blending. I was trying to keep it, pretty loose still, but kind of give it, maybe a light trace, um, because I wanted to do the in the pot swirl, and I really like when I do an in the pot swirl for it to be just a little bit thicker so the colors don't mix together that much. But it just was not accelerating at all, and even with stick blending, it still stayed pretty loose. So. Alright, so now what I want to do is, like I said, I was going to put everything back into that bucket because I want to do an in the pot swirl. And so I'm going to put all of my glow in the dark back in there. And that's going to be like the base. That's like my base color for this. And then I took my purples and I have my lavender that I put on each side. So I put half of it on one side, half of it across on the other side. And then I went ahead and just scraped out my bucket there. And then with the purple, I did the opposite corners. So it's almost like, if the bucket was divided into 4 corners. And just half at the front, half at the back, and then I scraped out my container again. And then with the black, what I did, so I have the purples in the 4 corners, and then with the black, I put in the empty spaces between. So there's 4 spots where the black is in there. And you see how I just crisscrossed it. Some of my absolute favorite swirls that I have done are in the pot swirls, and then you do the hanger swirl after. It turns out so pretty. But like I said, normally my soap is a little bit thicker. It's traced a little bit more than that when I do an in the pot swirl. This one is still super liquidy. And then I just pour it in. Look at that. I definitely need to work on my camera angles because the swirls inside of it were so pretty. I really wish you could have seen that. And then it's coming out in these perfect lines, so I figured I'll just stick with the lines because I wanted to do like a Taiwan swirl style on the top. And so instead of putting the lines in myself, it was coming out so perfectly, so I just stayed with the lines going. And then just use those to do the Taiwan swirl style on top. And I do come back later and I put the remainder of that into these little bug molds that I use as samples and stuff. And I'm just tapping it down to get all the air bubbles out. And then here I have a little skewer, and I just go into the very, very top layer of the soap to do the swirl on the top, and it's just back and forth. Once you get the stripes in there, it pretty much does that swirl itself, just going back and forth. It looks amazing. And then I always go around the edges, and the reason for that is because you'll see as it's swirling, those swirls are pretty straight going across. But when you go around the edge of the mold, it kind of pulls the soap to make it a little more swirled texture or a swirled look on it. And I really like the way that looked on this one. So I'm just going around and around until it pulls it to where I want it. And then that's it. Tap it down, make sure there's no air bubbles in it. Here's what the top looked like. I had just sprayed it with some rubbing alcohol so you can see the little water bubbles on there, but that's what the top looked like. And then here is after we unmolded it. Look at the sides of that. I think the sides turned out super cool. And then I'm just taking off just the very top corners of that soap. After I have all my bars cut, I usually bevel the edges. But on this one, I'm just taking off those very top edges really quick, just zipping them off, because when I did the swirl, it pushes a little bit of soap up on the sides, and so you have a really thin layer of soap that's up on the sides, so I just take that off super fast. And you can see I did this at like 8 o'clock in the morning, so I'm still in my robe. I got up and decided to cut the soap real quick. And I always cut off an end piece first, so I have a sample. I love including samples with orders, like anything that I can do like as a sample or make little special bars or anything like that. I love doing that with all the orders, just as an extra thank you for helping to support us. Look at that. And you can totally tell, once again, this is our first video because I'm trying to find the camera. Like, I wanted to show you guys the soap, and as I cut it, then I'm like, well, where's the camera? So I will get that down. I promise, guys. It'll be so much better. I'm so out of my element with this. The business just launched. And I have our website, which is PulseBathnBody.com. And then I have on Etsy also, I have all of our products on an Etsy site as well. And then we're on Facebook and Instagram. And somebody suggested, oh, you should do YouTube videos. So I was like, oh yeah, I could totally do that. Yeah, I did not realize what all goes in. I'll tell you, lots and lots of respect for all of the soap makers out there that have these massive YouTube channels. You guys are amazing. I guess we could say at Pulse we make awesome soaps and ghetto videos. But it will get better, I promise. As I was editing this, I'm laughing every time. Like, I'll cut a bar of soap and then I'm like you can see me trying to find the camera to show it to you. It was so funny. But this soap turned out super cool with all of the swirls inside of it. All of the parts where you see the white, that is all the glow in the dark, which looks really neat when it's in the, see, I'm trying to find the camera. It looks really neat when it's glowing. And at the very end of the video, I show you some pictures of the bars when they're done, and I show you a picture of them glowing as well. So make sure you stay until the end so you can see that. And then absolutely, if you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, advice, anything, please feel free to share them with us. I am so excited to get feedback. It really, I thrive off of that, just to know that, you know, what we could do better, and to help make you guys happy. And I know, especially right now, with everything going on in the world, it's like, it's nice to have something that can bring you joy. And so I absolutely love making soaps. We started the company because when I very first started, actually, my husband suddenly had psoriasis, and I was looking for a way to help him, and doing research and finding out all the different chemicals and everything that are in our products and all that stuff. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can make my own soap. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And then everybody wanted some, and they loved it. And so I thought, you know, I could totally make a business out of this, and help so many people. And so that's how we got started. And right now, especially now, I'm home, my husband's home, my poor kids are home. They were doing homeschool before all this happened. So now that all the other kids are out of school, my kids are still in school. So the poor kids are still stuck doing their schoolwork. But we're all home together, and we're all in this, you know, the stay home and stay safe thing here. And so I get to make soap all the time. I absolutely love it. I've been making all kinds of soaps, and so I will start getting more videos up for you guys too. And I'll cut faster next time. I'm like, come on, girl. Come on. I also noticed my timestamp. It's a good thing I can make soap. I gotta work on making videos. I really gotta work on that. And I gotta get that timestamp. I just made this. Today is April 2nd, 2020. And my timestamp says it's January, what is that, January 8th or January 6th of 2019. And I think at this point I just gave up on trying to find the camera. I was like, let's hurry up and get it cut so I can show you pictures. Alright, y'all, so if you did like the video, please make sure you like, please hit that subscribe button. If you have any comments or anything you want to share with us, please feel free to do so. We so appreciate that. And please, everybody, be safe out there, and we will get more videos coming your way. And we're going to show you some pictures here in just a moment, what the finished bars look like, and then also what they look like when they glow in the dark. And if you're interested in any of these, they will be available. I believe they're going to go up on the website for a pre-sale, and then when they're done curing, it does take 4 to 6 weeks to cure. And then you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, at PulseBathnBody, and you can also find us at the website PulseBathnBody.com, or on Etsy at PulseBathnBody. So thank you, everyone. See you later.